welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about chinchillas and more specifically what not to do with your pet chinchilla and going over some products that you should never use for chinchillas. Now the first one we're going to talk about is these metal hay balls. Now this is something you should never use for chinchillas. It's actually really dangerous. They're very prone to getting their feet or legs caught in these, and they'll actually end up breaking their leg if they get it caught in that. So that's definitely something you never want to use. It's not safe for them, and it's really a lot better to just pile hay for them. Just make a small little pile or even use a fleece bag, something like that, but nothing like those little hay balls. It's just really too dangerous and not worth it. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is plastic exercise balls. This is something you should never put your chinchilla in. These are death traps. These get very hot. Chinchillas cannot take heat, as I'm sure you know if you already have a chinchilla. It doesn't allow a lot of airflow, and these are just like so mean to animals actually, because it doesn't let them interact with the world the way that they want to. Touching, smelling, sniffing, being able to actually interact with the world. Little animals like these, the way they interact with the world is to actually be able to touch things, to be able to sniff things, and those balls don't allow for them to do that. These exercise balls are not safe for any animal. There's no animal that should be put in there, but they are especially dangerous for chinchillas because they do get hot. And whereas one animal might be able to take heat a little bit better and they won't die as quickly, a chinchilla is going to die very quickly from being put in these. It's going to be a lot hotter inside of that exercise ball than it is in the actual room. So don't ever use those death traps. And if you want your chinchilla to get some exercise, make a safe area for them to play in. You can use baby gates, things like that, to keep them in a safe area where they'll be able to exercise. Now, something really important to do with your chinchilla is to not overfeed him treats. Now, this is something I wish I had been a little bit more clear on in my chinchilla care video, and that is that chinchillas can have certain fruits and veggies such as apples or carrots as treats, but that's as a treat and they shouldn't get a lot of it. About one little slice a week is basically what they are allowed to have. That's as much sugar as they can have. The fruit and vegetables contain too much sugar for chinchillas. Chinchillas should really just be kept on grass and pellets. So if you do feed treats, really limit it. And also there's other types of treats that they can have a little bit more often, which I have mentioned in other videos, and that's stuff like dried flowers and things like that. One of my chinchilla's favorite treats is actually rose hips. So give everything else very sparingly because they cannot process sugar and it can actually lead to a lot of health problems for them. Next, let's talk about bedding. Do not use cedar bedding for these guys. Cedar is not good for any small animals, but if you do want to use something like that, you can actually use aspen. That one is safe. However, I prefer Carefresh for chinchillas. You will often hear people say that Carefresh is not good for chinchillas because if they eat a lot of it, it will expand in their stomach and cause a blockage. Now this is true, but if your chinchilla is sitting there eating the bedding, you have other problems. The bedding really isn't the issue. Now, interestingly enough, this mentality actually comes from chinchilla farms, where they keep chinchillas in very tiny cages with no levels, no toys, and really nothing to do. So of course the chinchilla is just going to be sitting there eating the Carefresh bedding if it's in this tiny little cell and it has nothing else to do. But that just comes with putting an animal in horrible living conditions. So if you have a lot for your chinchilla to interact with and to do, Carefresh bedding is going to be safe to use. When choosing hay for your chinchilla, do not use alfalfa hay. Always use a grass hay. And Timothy is the best one for chinchillas. I do give my chinchillas very small amounts of fresh alfalfa during the summer, but that is a treat and it's very limited amounts. As we discussed earlier in the video, chinchillas cannot get too hot, so always make sure that your house temperature is in the low 70s for chinchillas. And don't let your chinchillas overheat. Don't ever use wire wheels for chinchillas. Chinchillas can get their arms and limbs caught in wire wheels and as a result actually die from that. Plastic is also dangerous for chinchillas and they shouldn't have anything plastic in their cage. You should use a ceramic bowl for them, and also make sure that the water bottle is on the outside of the cage with the little metal thing sticking into the cage. If your chinchillas get a hold of plastic and chew it up, they might swallow pieces and get a blockage from this. Now, if they do get a blockage, they will need to have surgery because they can die from this. Thanks for watching this video about chinchillas, and leave your questions down below about chinchillas, because if I do get enough questions about them, I will do a chinchilla Q&A. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!